So nice that we have a packed house for our last meeting. I appreciate you all coming out to see me, as I know you all did.
Good to go.
Perfect. Thank you. Thank you.
Hi.
I will call this March 7th, 2023 meeting of Lawrence County Board of Commissioners to order. Would all please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance, followed by a brief moment of silence. Frank, would you lead us in the pledge?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All please remain standing for a brief moment of silence. Thank you. Chris, would you call the roll?
Commissioner Steelvogel? Here. Commissioner Vogler?
Here.
Commissioner Boyd?
Here. We have a quorum. Looking out in the audience today, I gotta do a good thorough look here, but I'm not seeing any row officers or representatives thereof. Public comments. Do we have any member of the public here wishing to make public comment?
Can I?
Yes, sir, Mr. Kennedy, the floor is yours.
Well, since it's Morgan's last, at the last meeting, Debbie, my wife and I thought we should come down and tell, besides all of you, thank you for everything you've done for Wilmington Township. We deeply, from the bottom of our hearts, appreciate it. Things couldn't happen without you three. And it couldn't happen without that crazy one. But he's helped me quite a bit from day one. Him and I stood together at the polls trying to get elected 4 years ago. And I got to meet him and talk to him then. But nice young man, and we appreciate it. We thought we should at least come down and, if you get that, I can't say it. But get out of here.
Okay, yes.
Believe it or not, you're not the first one today to say that. And the other guys used larger expletives. But thank you. It's been a privilege serving not just residents across Lawrence County, from Wilmington Township to Shenango to Newcastle, and certainly all around. And I'll withhold my comments for the end, and I'll keep them brief today, I promise. But it's been a pleasure to partner with all of you over the course of the last 3 years and 3 months now? 2 years?
Right.
2 months?
Yeah.
Well, thank you.
They count the days down here.
I got a sticky note on my desk right now. It's like, I think it's 4 now. And I got a champagne bottle waiting in the pocket. So, any other public comments today? Seeing none, we will move on to fiscal and contractual. We have no repository properties up for bid, no advertising bids and proposals, no receipt of bids and proposals. We do have a warrant register dated February 28th, 2023. And I will give my colleagues a minute to check that over. It's a thick one. And I'll take a motion to accept and file the warrant register, or if we want to make today the day that we deny it and go down that rabbit hole, I
Not
wouldn't
the
be opposed.
finesse in here.
No one knows what happens if we deny it. It's never been done.
I will make that motion before we have any more. You can go down your road.
I'll second.
Motion is second. Any further discussion here? None. Question on the motion. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Up next, minutes from Tuesday, February 28th, 2023. I'll give my colleagues a minute to check those over, and then again take a motion to accept and file the minutes. No problem.
So moved.
I'll second. We have motion and second. Any further discussion? Hearing none. Question on the motion. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Any abstentions?
I'll abstain. I was in Pittsburgh for a meeting last Tuesday, so I will abstain.
We have one written communication from today from Frank B. Taylor Engineering relating to a water quality management permit modification, which is being sent to DEP. It's in Slippery Rock Township for a David T. Parrish, or applicant's David T. Parrish at 3860 Fruit Mill Road, Newcastle, Pennsylvania, to install an ultraviolet disinfectant unit in the place of existing chlorine disinfectant unit for the existing single resident sewage treatment plant currently serving the home on property 3860 Fruit Mill Road. As I always do, I'll note that the commissioners are only required to be notified by certain individuals and entities taking part in development or regulatory or regulated activities. We have no authority to approve or deny permits, but under state law, we are required to be informed when such permits are applied for. And I'll take a motion to set the file correspondence.
So moved.
Second.
Motion is second. Any further discussion? Hearing none. Question on the motion. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Staff reports. Do we have any member of staff here that has anything to report above and beyond what's already on the agenda? Seeing none, commissioner reports and comments. I'll defer my comments to the end. Dan, you're on deck.
Thank you, Chairman Boyd. Just wanted to simply thank you for your service these last 3 years and wish you nothing but the best in your new venture, which, as you and I were talking, starts next Monday.
Yep.
And you've got to be excited. And again, wish you nothing but the best going forward.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And Commissioner Spillier.
Certainly dittoing those same remarks. Looking forward to working with you out of your office in Harrisburg.
It's gonna
Most
be,
definitely.
it's gonna be a fun couple of years, that's for sure.
Absolutely.
Eventually, they'll show me the door. I'm sure the voters would have done the same thing had I stuck around. But
That being
we'll
said,
enjoy it all.
it's really going down.
Thank you both. I'll defer mine to the end. Up next, this is a resolution I know all three of us are excited for. Our round two disbursement, or what we're calling round two disbursement of American Rescue Plan Act funds, which will be resolution 2023-78.
78.
This Board of Commissioners has worked diligently to identify impactful projects, both in the first round of American Rescue Plan funding and now the second round of American Rescue Plan Act funding. I'm sure that diligence and hard work will continue for the third, fourth, fifth, sixth, and however many rounds that the next board decides to go. But in terms of funded projects for this round, we have I'll tell them what they are, and I know we have representatives from Shenango here with us today. I'll give you guys the opportunity to speak as well. We have $900,000 to the Shenango Township Economic Development Corporation being passed through the LCEDC for Lawrence Village Plaza revitalization. We have $900,000 going to Neshannock Township for sewage on Blues Way and sewage extensions on Blues Way. And we have $100,000 going to Visit Lawrence County, our tourism promotion agency, for our 2023 countywide tourism promotion campaign. Total disbursements in second round of American Rescue Plan Act funding total $1.9 million. And just to give a brief overview of the three projects, in Shenango, like I said, it's being passed through the LCEDC through to the Shenango Township Economic Development Corporation, of which the three supervisors form the board. We're certainly excited to partner with Shenango Township, private developers and private businesses to try to bring life back to that plaza. I can't compliment you guys enough on the hard work that the three of you have put in towards revitalizing that plaza. The documents, the blueprints, the letters of intent that I've seen drafted are far and above that which normally comes through this office. And I want to commend the three of you on pulling those all together. I can tell you that without your extensive work, we wouldn't be sitting here today awarding this $900,000 in American Rescue Plan Act funding. The purpose of which is to augment your own funding in providing loans, grants, and infrastructure improvement funding to both developers, business owners, the township itself, should they wish to put a road into that site, bicycle improvements, transit improvements, et cetera. And like I said, we're certainly happy to assist you in that endeavor. And on that, I'll turn it over to my colleagues, and I'll turn it over to you, and we'll go to the next project.
Once again, ditto everything that you've said. I've been at the meetings, talked with you all and listened and just been there as the plan has evolved, maybe a step back or two, but then always forward. And I do just commend you guys on the work that you did, because it was not easy. It was not easy. And to be continuously on the phone or emailing or texting or doing something, coming up with a revised plan, you deserve to be commended for what you were doing, and just hopeful that it's just the beginning of a whole lot more activity in that corridor. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Yeah, and I'll concur with the comments that my two colleagues have made. I want to thank the three supervisors for your diligence. Your patience has been tested these last few years, but you keep coming back, you keep fighting for your community. I'm convinced that if the three of you rolled up your sleeves, you probably have that Shenango. Again, you are so, the three of you are so pro Shenango. You live and breathe it every day. And it's obvious that the work that you've done, not only with this proposal, but so many other things in your community, in your township, it certainly has paid off. And I believe with this investment, which, as Commissioner Boyd noted, you folks are putting skin in the game as well with some of your American Rescue Plan dollars. I think this is ultimately going to pay some positive dividends, not only for Shenango, but the county as a whole. Sometimes people lose sight of the fact that Shenango Township is our second largest township population-wise in the county, and is now the third largest municipality population-wise in Lawrence County. So it's a big area. It's an important area. So again, thank you. We've enjoyed working with you, and we'll continue to work with you. Thank you.
Thank you. And I'll turn it over to the three of you. If you have anything that you wish to add.
Yeah, I mean, I would just really like to thank the three of you guys. Without the 900,000 coming in and the 600,000 that we'll be using out of ours, 1.5 million total investment into Lawrence Village Plaza, 7-lot subdivision that will go through there with both bringing in a lot of local investors into the mix that we're able to work with on a daily basis. Really makes a complete change for this. You know, we were reached out by multiple people and said, hey, listen, you got to do something here. And at the end of the day, we've had discussions all the way from conservatorship to demolition to everything under the sun. And we truly believe that this plan brings it back, keeps it on the tax rolls for another 50 years to come, and does a lot for our community, but for Lawrence County as a whole. And then hopefully the residential development that we bring and sprawl off of this. So fantastic. I really commend. Without the money that would go towards this project wouldn't be happening right now. And from everybody involved, we should have a great plan to release here in the real near future. But a 7-lot subdivision with a public roadway going through it with public access to these individual parcels. So thank you guys so much for all the work. And Morgan, really commend you for the time that you spent here. I'm sure the majority of the people just want you to get out the door as quick as possible here. But reality is it's been a pleasure working with you. It's been great knowing you here the last 5 years or so, and just an awesome time. Can't wait to see what you do in Harrisburg.
Thank you.
Maybe they'd like to put their names out since it's being advertised, this is being recorded, maybe you'd like to say who they are to the public?
Sure. I think these are the Shenango Township Supervisors, Brandon Ritchell, Al Burek, and Frank Augustine. So.
Guys,
I just say the same thing, just echo everything that Brandon said, but you know, since this board has got elected, I think I've seen your faces out here quite a bit. And we appreciate it. And we told you from the get-go, Lawrence Village Plaza is where we need our
Yes.
help. We feel we've done a good job paving roads, taking care of our parks, and this is what we needed. And I thank you for the hard work, and we're going to keep moving forward on this thing. And I can't wait till the first time. And I think I told you this before. Usually when I go in one of the restaurants in Shenango, they yell at me for Lawrence Village Plaza. I can't wait for the first time they yell at me because the traffic is too bad.
yeah, because we know we're all getting yelled at for something. Doesn't matter what we do.
Township supervisors, I think we probably get yelled at a little bit more than that. But we're taking it on. We love it. We do love Shenango. So thanks again.
And I want to echo both what they said. We appreciate, I'm sure the whole township appreciates all the work that you guys have done as well to help Shenango. The funds, because if we didn't receive these funds, we'd probably be here in 5 years asking for funds for demolition for the property. So to be able to save this property and save it on the tax rolls is a compliment to you guys. Thank you.
Thank you, all three of you.
Absolutely.
And it's been a pleasure, I guess, serve with each of you.
We'll be hitting you up a lot.
Yeah, unfortunately, I think all three of you have my private cell phone.
Absolutely.
So, you know.
As long as he doesn't change it.
I'll get the new one.
You corral him. That one particular person, and
Oh, yeah.
my pen's ready.
We got it.
Up next, just to give a brief overview of the project, the Shannon Township Blues Way Sewage Project. This has been a project 15 years in the making. There are malfunctioning sewage and septic systems running down Blues Way. The Department of Environmental Protection came in as a result of a lawsuit and mandated that development get put on township sewage, which in turn created a significant cost burden for the individuals located along Blues Way and some of the ancillary streets there. We're awarding $900,000 to get 73 households access to public sewage, which amounts to over 100 residents gaining access to sewage. This assists a neighborhood where certain individuals, a lot of individuals in the neighborhood would not be able to afford the increased costs associated with pulling sewage up if the entirety of those costs were pushed on to those residents. It's certainly not their fault that their septic systems are malfunctioning. Again, this is mandated by the DEP, and we're certainly happy to be in a position to help those residents out, get them onto sewage and solve this 15-year issue. And I'll turn it over to my colleagues for comments that they might have on that.
I think with, the monies that we have received, that we need to use them appropriately in a variety of different ways, and infrastructure is certainly part of that. And we need to be able to, because I can't imagine that this situation where this amount of money is coming to a county will ever occur. If there's a bright side, if a silver lining at all to the devastation that COVID has brought, that the money's coming to the counties from the previous administration and this administration have certainly helped in a variety of different ways. And I think as county commissioners, we have funded different programs and activities in a variety of different ways, like I said, and doing the infrastructure things because they are so costly. I think that's something that we need to keep in mind, and we need to continue to do those things. So I was definitely in favor of assisting the Shannon as well.
Thank you. Two things I'll note. We've discussed this with the Neshannock Township supervisors at some length. And I think the record needs to reflect that, similar to Shenango Township, supervisors in Neshannock are also putting money towards this project as well. This actually goes back beyond 15 years. I was a township supervisor in the 90s and in Neshannock. And at the time, we did a study of areas throughout the township that were not served by public sewers. And if I recall, there was a list of 10 neighborhoods that were identified. This was one of them. So we're talking quite a long time that these folks have had to wait. So this is certainly a very positive step forward for those residents, and again, for the township as a whole, which ultimately means it's just like Shenango, it's a positive step forward for the entire county. Thank you.
Thank you. And finally, a significant, smaller but not insignificant allocation to Visit Lawrence County for 2023 countywide tourism promotion campaign. I mean, about $100,000. The impetus for this is that last year the county provided an additional $85,000 to the Lawrence County Tourism Promotion Agency to utilize in their marketing as they seek to attract tourist visitors and out-of-towners to come and patronize Lawrence County. The result of that campaign, that $85,000 that was used to both create new marketing collateral as well as push out that collateral on social media, Netflix, Hulu, and different digital media sources. We saw I pulled the numbers today. We saw a 15% increase in stays, which when you look at that figure, that's a significant increase in tourism to Lawrence County, which, you have people staying in our hotels. You have people patronizing our restaurants. You have people taking Amish tours. You hopefully have people patronizing Lawrence Village Plaza.
Not currently.
But
Listen, I visit that dollar every day.
You're not a tourist.
Township Shenango. A little bit of a gap there. No, but we saw a significant increase in the number of stays across the county as a result of that increased allocation. People coming in from Pittsburgh, Cleveland, as far away as the DC metro area to patronize our shops. visit our towns and otherwise spend their money here. And so this promotion specifically is going to be targeted towards promoting Lawrence County's outdoor amenities, which I think all three of us would argue we've been graced with a bounty of outdoor
Yes.
amenities across our county, from McConnell's Mill to Mines and Meadows to the Volant Mills to the wine trails in the northern section of the county. We're looking at really pushing those out to people within driving distance of Lawrence County who might want to come up here and spend a weekend hiking through McConnell's Mill, visiting shops in Volant, going to Nova Cellar wineries, take a walk through downtown Wampum. And again, we saw tremendous success with this campaign last year, and so we're increasing again the allocation this year above and beyond what we've done in previous years. And if this is our last one, I'll turn it back over to my colleagues. If there's any additional comments they might have.
I was with the director, Janet Filatico. I sit on the tourism board, and we were meeting yesterday, she and I in the office, and truly, truly excited to be doing it again. It takes a bit of a burden off of their finances that they're not responsible for footing the bill for doing this. And she truly is excited as well. We have a board meeting tomorrow, as I'm sure the rest of the board will be, to know that the funding is there again. And, to be able to enhance those outdoor activities, which is the, in the forefront of most all of the things that we're doing, even with as far as the Shenango Plaza, doing something with that, with opening up the roadway and getting to the park. Again, if there's a silver lining on COVID, this is it, to be able to have those monies to utilize them in a variety of different ways to serve the public. So this will certainly enhance. Yes, thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for your service on that board. I served on that board a number of years ago. It's an excellent group of people, as you know.
And they're very excited about what they do. So there's never any inaction there. I mean, it was a beehive yesterday when I stopped in, so yes.
And Janet and her staff are just wonderful ambassadors for this county, the way they promote the county. The ultimate goal, as both my colleagues noted, is to bring people into this county, to stay here, to experience everything we have to offer, and to open up their wallets and help our local economy. So I think this will certainly move it in that direction as well. So I'm certainly supportive of this proposal. Thank you.
Absolutely, thank you. And I believe our approximation is with this additional funding, we should be able to reach 1.6 million roughly additional people through, again, a combination of social media, over the top, Netflix, Hulu,
Yes.
HBO, and other digital platforms. I'll also note before we take a vote on this that, and Dan, you're the resident historian here. I believe the two allocations to Shenango Township Economic Development Corp and to Shannon Township are two of the largest allocations made by Lawrence County for community redevelopment projects, exclusive of CDBG projects, in probably the last 20 years.
I would have to think you're right.
So again, happy to do that and glad that we're in the financial position to do that. And on that, I will take a motion on resolution 78.
So moved.
Second. We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none. Chris, please call the roll.
Commissioner Spielvogel?
Yes.
Commissioner Vogler?
Yes.
Commissioner Hoyt?
Yes.
Motion carried.
Thank you.
Well, exhale now.
And Dan and Debbie, I know you guys sent a request into the board for a sewage project up in Wilmington Township for Honeybee Lane. We didn't have enough time to be able to pull that together for this specific meeting, but I know that that's on the chute and something that I'm sure that Wilmington Township will be invited to meet with the next board of commissioners to potentially award an application.
I'll throw one in there. I grew up on Blues Way. 40 years ago, that was bad. They need help, and you're right. The people there cannot afford to do it, so you guys are helping. As an ex, it was Carroll Drive Blues Way back then. As an ex Carroll Drive person,
Okay.
the people in Shannon Township, I'm sure my friends that still live there, some older people.
Yeah.
Thank you guys very much. It's nice to hear it's going to happen finally. And as you know, Dan, it's been years.
Yeah.
My mother was there, and it needed done when she was there years ago. So thank you.
Absolutely, we're happy to help.
Yes.
Up next, Debbie, you got a lot of news today.
Midnight.
Up next is a resolution relating to participate in ongoing litigation against Norfolk Southern. Our solicitor, Jason Medor, has been in contact with Levens, Sedgwick and Berman, and Robert Pearson Associates, who coincidentally are also the attorneys that we partnered with for our opioid lawsuit, as it relates to a class action lawsuit and filing the appropriate documents and taking potential action against Norfolk Southern to help recoup some dollars that were lost by our residents as a result of the train derailment in East Palestine. So we're joining in on that. This comes on the heels of the governor's office announcing yesterday $1 million will be coming to Lawrence and Beaver counties to further assist our efforts in mitigating that disaster. I will note with that, we don't know how yet that will be managed. We don't, that million, how that will be managed, whether it'll be a joint board with Beaver and Lawrence County representatives, whether Lawrence County will get a share, and Beaver County will get a share. Those details are all forthcoming, and I'll certainly, I'll see to the next board to figure out how to utilize that money. But certainly thankful to the governor's office and continuing to chase down opportunities to hold Norfolk Southern accountable for the train derailment. Questions, comments on 79?
If I recall correctly, this does not necessitate or require any expenditure of our funds at this point in time.
Yes.
This is simply an agreement to, in fact, the wording here, and you said it, a potential lawsuit. Thank you.
Thank you. I'll take a motion on 79.
So moved.
Second.
Motion is second. Any further discussion? Hearing none. Question on the motion. Chris, please call the roll.
Commissioner Spillvogel?
Yes.
Commissioner Vogler?
Yes.
Commissioner Boyd?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you. Up next, we have planning. Amy McKinney's with us somewhere. Amy, for a couple CDBG resolutions here. One is our CDBG COVID discretionary round 3 for fiscal year 2020. There's a little bit of a lag time between when it's awarded and when we get to expend them. And then we have an Elwood City project where we administer the funds, but they choose the project. So Amy, I'll turn it over to you on COVID discretionary.
I think it's really fast and easy for you guys. For the first resolution, we're looking to move some funds, additional funding into the public facilities of the Families First Housing Program that they're doing up on Through Mill. So we're gonna be eliminating our one IDIS activity number and moving that $66,370 into public facilities for them to keep working on that project, which if you haven't been up there yet, it's fantastic. They're doing a great job. If anybody wants to go up there, Dan and Loretta, Morgan, you've been up there, and Joe, you've been up there too, but I'll gladly set up a tour for you guys to go up on those. They're doing a great job up there.
It doesn't look like a prison anymore. Looks like actually really very nice apartments.
It's beautiful. So these funds will help with some additional things that they weren't expecting, and we're happy to do this for them, so.
May I?
Yes.
Since this project is in Shenango Township, is it safe to assume that your invitation extends to the 3 gentlemen in the back row?
Of course.
Our athletic association actually housed and had multiple people at the location this weekend, and about 300, Frank, at least 300 or so people were at the gymnasium to have the night of the races. So
Yeah, there should be-
fantastic.
yeah, so that-
Fantastic facility, beautiful.
And this CD3 fund, these discretionary funds are different than our normal pot of money. So normally, since it's in Shenango Township, we'd have to go through those 3 guys to get their okay on it. But this is a competitive grant that the commissioners applied for this project specifically, and it just goes to you guys for the discretionary.
Is it safe to assume they would have no objection?
And those 3 gentlemen have also dedicated some of their normal CDBG funds to these projects out there at the YDC. So it's been a great working collaborative effort between the county, LCAP, and Shenango Township. So this is just a simple revision that we'll send over to our grant manager to approve and get those funds moved over so they can keep on working on their project.
I'll take a motion on a resolution 80 to continue Shenango Day.
So moved.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none. Chris, please call the roll.
Commissioner Spielvogel?
Yes.
Commissioner Vogler?
Yes.
Commissioner Boyd?
Yes,
Motion carries.
thank you. 81, Elwood City.
This is just a resolution allowing us to go out for bid for Elwood City CDBG project. It's a street improvement. I think it's out of their 2021 allocation. And this is some streets down there, Bell, 10th, 7th, Woodland, and Park. This is the way that they're spending their funds. So we need to advertise for the bids.
That sounds good. Any questions, comments on that?
Just since I noted that Shenango Township is our second largest township in the county, I should note that the borough of Elwood City, population-wise, is the largest borough in the county. Enter that for the record.
I'll take a motion on 81.
So moved.
Second.
Motion second, any further discussion? Hearing none, question on the motion, Vanessa, please call, Chris, please call the roll.
Commissioner Spielvogel?
Yes.
Commissioner Vogler?
Yes.
Commissioner Boyd?
Yes,
Motion carries.
thank you. That muscle memory is hard to work out.
That's okay.
Thanks, Amy.
Up next, we have CYS with a resolution discussing, is this CYS or is this ACTS? Looks like it might be joint.
CYS.
CYS, Vanessa, are you here for this?
Yes.
Okay, I didn't know.
I'm a
Yeah.
support person.
Okay. I was looking at it, I didn't know if it was mislabeled, I just, yeah. But no, we're in good shape now. I'm
Yes.
still confused, but no more than my normal state. So we have CYS resolution for discussion, enter an agreement with Allied Community Transportation Services. John and Mike, CYS, what do we have here today?
Good morning. Thank you for your time. Commissioners, the first proposal before you is for ACTS. This would be a transportation agreement that would give us the opportunity to add support for children that need transported to medical appointments, therapy appointments, supervised visitation with their parents, and at times those first 2 to 3 weeks when a child that goes into foster care needs transported from the locale where the foster family is back to their home school district. And the agreement before you has a fee schedule that has 4 tiers to it. There's a shared public ride concept. The second is a non-public in-county option. Third is an out-of-county non-public option. And then the fourth would be in the event that we need to utilize the ACTS service after hours.
All right, questions, comments on that before I direct about?
I will say, thank you. I know we've been talking individually with our meetings that we have, trying to ease that burden on staffing at CYS and to create that sense of that ability for children to be able to get where they need to go, whether it be an appointment or school. So I thank you for following through with that and getting that done. Hopefully that helps ease the burdens. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner.
Yes.
Yeah.
Fine, thank
I'll,
you.
I'll tell you what, unless there are any objections, we'll take the 3 CYS together,
Okay.
82, 83, 84. So if you want to move on to Twin Pines.
Twin Pines is a foster care provider. We continue to add to our network. It would be an emergency placement. That would be the same also, Commissioner, for Aubrey. In the event, I mean, we are now at 19 or 20 contracts for foster care providers, and we continue to add to the network, really to give us the opportunity in the event that we have sibling groups, children with special needs, or complex cases, so that frankly, we avoid having children that have to sleep overnight at the Elmira building.
Certainly something we want to avoid.
Absolutely.
Unless there's any questions, comments, further discussion, I'll take a motion on 82 through 84.
So moved.
Second. Motion second, any further discussion? Hearing none, question on the motion. Chris, please call the roll.
Commissioner Spielvogel?
Yes.
Commissioner Vogler?
Yes.
Commissioner Boyd?
Yes,
Motion carries.
thank you. Thanks, guys.
Thank you again.
Well, thank you. Thank you. Good morning. Commissioner Boyd, there was no tough question.
You get an easy one, everyone. I'm hosting it right now.
Have a good morning,
I got
everyone.
the sticky notes upstairs. We're feeling one more off at the end of the day.
Thank you.
Thank you. Up next, resolution 2023-85, appointing Antonio L. Miller of Neshannock Township to fill the vacancy, including term of EMAC Parat to Lawrence County Airport Authority, term will expire June 1st, 2027. First and foremost, I want to thank Mac for his service over these many long years, dedication to the airport. He was religiously at each of the meetings and certainly provided tremendous value as they've worked to maintain and outgrow that facility. He will be missed, and I'm sure if he was still living in the county or even in Pennsylvania, he would continue his many years of service until he decided to step down. So I just wanted to note that. I am excited that we are appointing Mr. Miller to this board. I've consistently stated, and I know my colleagues feel the same, that it's crucial that we get young people involved in county boards, authorities, township boards and authorities, and otherwise throughout the county and our different nonprofit and societal organizations. Mr. Miller is a law enforcement officer in good standing. He's currently working towards his bachelor's degree in criminal justice. He's a pilot in training, and I know is excited for the opportunity to work alongside dedicated individuals currently serving on that board to advance the interests of the airport. Again, I view it as a responsibility of this board and of all governing boards across Lawrence County to work to integrate young people into the decision-making process, to bring them in, let their thoughts and their opinions be heard, and allow them to participate in the development of the county. That's candidly the only way that we're going to be able to attract and retain young people is when they have a voice at the table. And so I'm certainly glad that Mr. Miller stepped up to be that voice on the airport authority, and look forward to his service over the next several years. I'll note, and again, this is Dan, I'm going to lean on you as our resident historian. I believe Mr. Miller is 25. Would that?
I know what is he the youngest?
Yeah, in recent years.
In recent years, we did have a young gentleman in his mid-20s, Mr. Show from Neshannock Township. Is it Brian? And he served for a brief period of time, and then he moved out of the county. All I can recall is he was a very nice young man. His parents still live in Neshannock Township, and he was in his mid-20s. So Mr. Miller is either the youngest or the second youngest.
Yep. Which again, I'm certainly happy for there. But thank you. I figured you know that. In recent history, he's definitely the youngest.
Yeah.
In the last decade or so.
Right.
But no, certainly glad that we're doing this. And I'll turn it over to my colleagues for any additional questions, comments.
Good as well.
Thank you. I'll take a motion on 85.
So moved.
Second.
Motion is second. Any further discussion? Hearing none. Question on the motion. Chris, please call the roll.
Commissioner Spielvogel?
Yes.
Commissioner Vogler?
Yes.
Commissioner Boyd?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you. Up next, the administrative side of fund appropriations. And what better way for me to go out the budget?
There's only a few.
Yeah, that's rare for me. 86. I have a feeling we'll be significantly less after I take off. 86, this is just an amendment basically allowing for the fund expenditure to be made to LCEDC, who will then make it to Lawrence, or to Shenango Township Economic Development Corporation. We're getting those contracts structured now, working with LCEDC, working with Lou, to string that money together, that fiscal stream together. And so there should be a vote on the contracts, if not next week, the week after. This just appropriates the money and moves the money where it needs to be appropriated. Questions on that? Take a motion on 86.
So moved.
Second.
Motion is second. Any further discussion? Hearing none. Question on the motion. Chris, please call the roll.
Commissioner Spielvogel?
Yes.
Commissioner Vogler?
Yes.
Commissioner Boyd?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you. Up next, same thing for tourism. Do I need to elaborate?
No.
I'll take a motion.
So moved.
It's 87, is that correct?
Yes,
Yeah,
87.
I'll second the motion.
All right, we have a motion second. Any further discussion? Hearing none. Question on the motion. Chris, please call the roll.
Commissioner Spielvogel?
Yes.
Commissioner Vogler?
Yes.
Commissioner Boyd?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you. 88, this says 400. It should be 400 because there is an additional 500 already in the account for the water sewage.
Gotcha.
And so I just wanted to clarify that because I'm sure,
Okay.
when I looked at it the first time, I was questioning why it was 400, not 900, but it just gets the appropriate amount of money to the right account. So I'll take a motion, again, moving money around for the allocations. I'll take a motion on 88.
So moved.
Second. We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none. Question on the motion. Chris, please call the roll.
Commissioner Spielvogel?
Yes.
Commissioner Vogler?
Yes?
Commissioner Boyd?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you. Next commissioners meeting will be held on Tuesday, March 14th, 2023 at 10 a.m. in this commissioners meeting room, potentially with a new commissioner, depending on how quickly the judges come down with a decision on the appointment. Next salary board meeting will be March 14th, 2023 at 11 a.m. in this room, again, potentially with a new member of the salary board. The opioid advisory board meeting, which was originally scheduled for today at noon, is canceled. And there is a planning commission meeting on Wednesday, March 8th, which is tomorrow, at the Newcastle City Building. And again, I'll do public comments.
Oh, I have one thing to add.
Sure.
It's a little further out, but I should note that on the 21st of March, Tuesday, the 21st, there will not be a county commissioners meeting. That coincides with the spring conference of the State County Commissioners Association that's held out in Dauphin County. And I believe you and I are both registered for that
Yes.
conference. So no meeting on the 21st. Thank you.
Thank you. I'll ask for public comments. I'll make a couple brief remarks and turn the gavel over to him. Ms. Lamb.
I don't know if this is appropriate or not, but I'm gonna try. I had the privilege of cleaning out a 94-year-old home, and I have never seen a Purple Heart. And this man died for our freedom, and I wanted to bring that, and I'm gonna share this with Dan later. But we need to appreciate the people that have fought for our freedom and what all we are allowed to do in this United States. And may I? This I found in a cedar chest hidden. Of course, it's Catholic, and I know you're not all, but just think that these people from a communist country, they were not allowed to pray and they weren't allowed to be Christian. So they hid this. And inside of this is a little Bible, and I can hardly talk because I know these people. It's a little metal Bible. And inside of it, somebody took the time to personally make this one by one. I've had it to jewelers and priests and nuns. Nobody has ever seen one. Mind you, if they got praying, they would be dead. And this is the smallest rosary anybody has ever seen. And these people did this so they could pray and have their life. And then their grandson died in World War II, so we could have our freedom and our lives. Thank you. I just wanted to share that.
Thank you.
We are very, very blessed in this country to be able to do what we can do. So thank you.
Thank you for sharing.
Thank you.
Certainly, it's important that we honor those who served to allow people like us to serve and to allow our society to progress. So thank you for sharing.
Thank you for letting me share.
Thank you for sharing.
Any additional public comments? Only thing I'll note before again turning the gavel over, I just wanted to say one last thank you to the residents of Lawrence County for allowing me to serve over these last few years. When I initially started running for office, I could never imagine the past 3 years to have turned out the way they did. From the very beginning, when we were in a little bit of a budget crisis, to immediately jumping to COVID, to racial tensions relating to the murder of George Floyd, to administering elections with a new mail-in balloting system, to tangoing with the LCEDC, and finally the endorsement of my endorsement of Josh Shapiro. I certainly could never have imagined when we got sworn in on January 6th, 2020, last 3 years would have been as they were. But I'm tremendously grateful for the opportunity to serve, as I stated, and look forward to serving in this new capacity in Harrisburg. I had dinner last night with the DCD secretary, and some of the projects that they're starting to work on and sort of the plans that they're starting to put together are gearing up to be transformative for the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, looking at completely overhauling longstanding economic development systems, improving longstanding economic development systems, coordinating more with regions, with localities than in previous administrations has been done. So I'm certainly excited for the future of Pennsylvania as it relates to that, and I'm excited for my future as I get to play a small role in advancing both Lawrence County and the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. So again, thank you all for letting me serve these past few years. And with that, And with that, Dan, we still have a little bit of time, but as far as I'm concerned, you're the chairman. I'll hand the gavel over to you if you do the honors of adjourning.
Certainly, thank you. I think the resolution last week said 12 noon. So thank you for allowing me this authority. I'll entertain, and in fact, you know, as chair, you don't get to make motions very often. So I'll entertain an adjournment motion if you'd like to.
I'll make a motion to adjourn my last meeting of the Lawrence County Board of Commissioners.
Is there a second?
I will second that.
We'll do a roll call, please.
Commissioner Spielvogel,
Yes.
Commissioner Vogler,
Yes,
Commissioner Boyd.
Yes.
there we
Motion carries.
go. Motion, the meeting is adjourned.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Awesome.
All the best.
Yes.
Okay, you three. I know
Debbie, I have.
you've done a lot of work.
I have one.
And
Oh, you do?
as a young man,
Christine made me.
my house was
Thank you, though.
in Schneider's Township on Baldwin Road.
I'm always
I
glad
actually
that
had a
saves
house
you money
right
if you
where
don't have to,
I
because
passed
I do
down
all over.
on the 4.2 and they moved it.